Peace and love, peace and love. You know, I think I'm cracking the code on the video. I remember when I was a child, and every time I got on the phone, I always was walking around. And it used to drive my aunt crazy, you know. She'd be like, "Why you keep walking around? Why you keep walking around?" And then I'm sitting here and I'm making videos, and I'm like, man, how come the information ain't coming out the way it is when I'm just walking and talking with my boys, or when I just meet a person and, at the restaurant and we flowing, or when I'm talking to my cousin, how come it ain't coming out like with that fire? And then I started realizing because I'm sitting still in one spot, and the energy is not flowing. So I'm out here right now, and I feel I'm just walking around to test this hypothesis, and I feel it. The energy is flowing, and so I just wanted to come out and freestyle a little bit. It's a lot going on out here, baby. A lot going on out here. A lot changing in the world. Man, so much to talk about, but I just want to bless y'all with something, and tell y'all a couple of things. We're just gonna freestyle right here. One of them, I wanted to share a protocol about teeth brushing. When I brush my teeth, cheese. When I brush my teeth, I use a protocol. I use a two brush method. So basically, I brush my teeth 2 times, really. And what this does, you can address a couple of things this way. Number one is, if you haven't, say you're eating something sweet, and you may have like a pain, or you might even, it's better to catch it as early as you can. But if you feel any type of discomfort or any type of pain or anything, then what you should do is go and brush that particular area multiple times. Brush your teeth and focus on that particular area. Focus on that particular area multiple times. And what you're going to find out is whatever was there is going to be gone. Period. I've done this multiple times. And to be honest, I'm a person, I don't go to the hospital. I don't go to the doctor. I told you all my children born at home. I'm the medicine man for the family. And basically, whenever I've felt something, like a pain or any type of discomfort in my teeth while I was eating something, the next time I went to brush my teeth, I brushed and brushed and brushed and brushed and brushed in that area, and that problem went away and didn't come back. And if it came up in another problem, did the same thing, had the same result. So, and then in addition to that, if you really want to get that fresh breath, that fresh breath, then you need to start incorporating um, essential oils in your teeth brushing protocol. I would recommend twice, 2 to 3 times a week, or whenever needed, as needed, taking peppermint or spearmint, because a lot of the toothpaste brands out there got peppermint or spearmint, in the toothpaste as an ingredient, as probably one of the main active ingredients of the toothpaste. And it's good if you go ahead and brush your teeth. My protocol for brushing my teeth is, I brush my teeth once real good, and then I follow it up again with a second brush, and this time I put peppermint on my toothbrush, and I brush and I scrub my tongue. And while I'm doing that, while I'm brushing my teeth, I'm actually breathing in through my mouth, and the essential oil essence is going into down to the digestive tract, and just helping to refresh the canals, the digestive canals, and the breath and the airway canals. And it's just a good way to freshen your breath, whiten your teeth, and have a better tooth regimen. So I just wanted to share that. Also today, find out, Facebook has changed their name to Meta. And you know what's interesting is I really see I'm a techie. I'm a herbalist. I'm just a brainchild. I'd like to do things with my mind. Um, I was thinking about getting the Oculus, right? And I was like, I started looking into it, Then I found out Facebook created the Oculus, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm good on that. But what I do is I do study, so I know what's the trends, what's happening right now, and how what's going on today as far as the vax and all that stuff. It has pushed people into their homes, into isolation, and it also has caused people to quit their jobs, and so we got job shortages. This is like fertile ground. It's the best opportunity. It's like planting in compost. It's the best opportunity for the companies who want to create the fourth industrial revolution, to go ahead and start rolling out all their plans. And one of the plans is to immerse people in a virtual world, you know, and connecting to people's biological systems, their brain, through technology. And meta, when you dealing with high spirituality, we call that metaphysics, which really meta is really small components of of anything. So I went to school for herbology, but I also have a degree in a bachelor's and an associate's in computer information, one in cybersecurity and one in network security. I also took programming classes before I even got those degrees. And I know that metadata is the data within data. You might want to look that up. If you ever watched a show called Green Lightning, or Black Lightning, and they had these the people out there who's primarily melanated. They had special powers. They called all those people meta, and with all this virtual reality coming out, they calling it the metaverse. And man, I can go on this forever, but the fact that Facebook has changed its name to Meta, not Metaverse, not Metaphysics, not Meta Book, it's a wake up call. That they're ringing the bell to say yes, we're going forward. I was watching this video as well, and this guy was talking about the 9 things that's going to happen in 2030, and basically there's an idea out there that everything that happened within the last year, within the last 100 years, it took the same progress that was made within the last 100 years. It may have took 1,000 years to make that same progress in times past. But now, imagine making that same 1,000-year progress within 10 years. And they're able to do, and that's because it's like compound interest. If you deal with finances, everything is compounding, so everything is rapidly speeding up. And basically, Facebook changes its name to Meta, and you gotta know they got Elon Musk out there with Tesla and Neuralink. Well, Facebook got their own Neuralink. They've been developing this forever. I remember 4-5 years ago, I remember telling people around me, hey, Facebook is creating this these technologies where they're going to interface with your mind, and you're not going to even need to use your keyboard or nothing to input stuff on Facebook. They doing this. They got their own neural networks. This is not conspiracy theories. Everything I'm saying is 100% fact that can be researched. So man, I'm just thinking about them changing that name and them ringing that bell, and about to start taking people in these virtual realities, and everything gonna be fake. I always talk about Wi-Fi, man. They're trying to model a fake world after the real world. Because the real Wi-Fi is the sun. That's like the real Wi-Fi. So when you want to get that knowledge, that's why the melanated people got to get out in the sun. But now people ain't getting in the sun. They at home, stuck in their house. They ain't going out nowhere. Melanated people vitamin D deficient. We need the most sun in the world, but we have the least amount that we need in proportion to the amount that we need than other people. You go to the beach, Caucasians sunbathing, they in the sun all the time. I went to a hike the other day, and I'm trying to go to a spot that I normally go to, just to sit for a second. It's by the lake. You got, people out there, and they just taking up the whole area, laying down, taking a nap. I'm like, man, some people is inconsiderate. But man, I'm so happy because I'm breaking the code on these videos on how I can get this information out. So it's and I'm ready to share it with people because, listen, when we deal with spirituality at its highest state, then we know that we are all the zodiac signs. Even though I'm a Virgo, shout out to the Virgos. I'm a Virgo. I move into different spaces. After I just came out of a meditation session, the ego is on mute. So I might come on a video, and I might, be like, peace and love, light. Because that's the energy that I just got done dealing with. I was dealing with some silence and meditation. And when you're doing mantras and you're doing meditation like that, it brings that out of you. You see? But, I know people like that fire, they like that fire energy. And I got that. That's normally me on a day-to-day basis, but it just happens that sometimes I make these videos coming out of meditative states or being in a calm state where I'm doing a lot of researching on healing and things like that. And when you're researching that type of information, you don't have the ego is non-present. It's non-present. And so I might hop on, and I'm just thinking about everything, sharing a few things with y'all, and pretty much that's all I got for right now. An update. Telling people, listen, before I go, please, I'll be the first to tell you that a couple years ago, I brought this hypothesis to my wife. I said, listen, Bitcoin is the new form of slavery, all right? And that was because I was basing it off basic logic. And think about it. If we're saying that the American dollars, the dollars were traded in as collateral for our enslavement. So basically the dollars ain't backed up by nothing but us, and that all of us is attached to these dollars with these UCC codes and these accounts and stuff like that. Then what happens, and basically what happens when all of us start putting all of our money into Bitcoin? We're now digitizing ourselves. I've been saying it, and it makes sense, bro. The universe is so powerful, man, because the answers is always there. The answers is always there. Everything is being digitized. Even people are about to be thrown into virtual realities and all this stuff. And it's happening on so many levels, even with the coin. We're about to digitize ourselves because the money represented the people. They took on all this debt as collateral, and basically, our wealth and stuff was tied into this money, and we're about to put it into Bitcoin. Now, that's one side of it. I don't invest in Bitcoin, and I'm gonna just tell you that straight up. I don't even own Bitcoin. Any Bitcoin that I got it through passive earning, through basically staking my coins on certain bridges, in certain pools, and earning free Bitcoin as a result. For real, Bitcoin is just not a high performing coin at all. And that's bringing me to my next point. Listen, we not going to be able to stop these people from creating their AIs, their robots, none of this stuff. The only thing going to stop them is divine intervention. All right? So that means it's the same thing happening with the internet and with the cell phones. When that stuff was coming out, people swore that was the devil. And listen, I'm not saying it's not, but everybody use the internet today, especially if you watching this video. You can't watch this video without using the internet. So, you know, the same thing is happening now. Cryptocurrency is coming out, blockchain is coming out, and people gonna stand on the sidelines saying it's the devil and all this stuff. You might be right, but check it. There's already a wealth gap between melanated people and other races. If we don't get our money in these coins in some way, form, or fashion, the gap is gonna be just crazily expanding. And the reason I'm saying this too is because yes, I invest in cryptocurrency and I've made a lot of money. Okay, and that's just real talk. That's just real talk. Money that drug dealers can't make. You see, and I try to tell some of my friends, I be like, hey man, you need to invest in this coin. You know what I'm saying? They go, oh yeah, I see. But then they ask me for some money. When I told them they had some money, they could have bought the coin and they could have put $100 in and had 1,000. Put $1,000 in and had 10,000. Put 10,000 in and had 100,000. I mean, listen, but we standing on the sideline. One of my friends back in 2009, or maybe a little bit later, a little bit after that, probably in about 2014 potentially, was like, hey, you need to invest in Bitcoin. This Bitcoin was cheap. He's like, yeah, this is gonna be the future. I was like, yeah, all right. I hear you. You know what I'm saying? But I invest. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't invest either. How you gonna tell me invest? He didn't invest either. Next thing you know, Bitcoin and blew up $20,000. Hey, at that point, I started turning my mind in. I'm already was a techie anyway. I was working, you know what I'm saying, in IT, you know what I mean, at the time. And I was already like technologically sound. So I was like, yeah, let me turn my attention to, and I did some research. I was like, oh yeah, this is the future. Now, Facebook changing their stuff, calling them Meta, they gonna come out with their own coin. Now, all these central banks is gonna start making central bank CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. Okay, and I call Ethereum, I call New Cipher, I call Shiba Inu. Lord have mercy, Shiba Inu. And I'm here to tell y'all today, you know, listen, this is not financial advice. But man, I've been telling all my boys way back when Shiba Inu was like 0.00000. You know, I've been telling them like, hey, go ahead. If I had $1 a day, I'd put it in Shiba Inu. That's what I was telling them. Shiba Inu up millions of percent. Millions of percent. Not 100%, 200%, 3,000%. No, millions of percent. Okay, all you would have had to do was put $100 in there and you would have been rich. So, man, the world is changing, but we can't get left behind. And then also, because I want this video to go viral, man, because I'm touching on the topics. Also, it's about, you only gonna be allowed to get wealth if you know what you're gonna do with it, especially if you claim you're spiritual. So if you're spiritual, then you're in line with the divine energies. The universe is gonna open the way for you. But if you're dealing with supreme high spiritual initiation and development and ascension, then you are aligned with certain energies, and those energies are gonna test your heart. Me, you talking to a person who meditates for hours a day, do thousands of mantras, literally thousands of mantras. So when I sit and I meditated, I actually travel to different realities of or different potential timelines, and I became rich in my meditation. And then I sat there and I created a point in space, and I said, okay, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna travel out and I'm gonna go to all these different places. I became rich, and then I started smoking weed and drinking and stuff, and I wasn't happy. I smoked weed and I started focusing on the spirit. I mean, I became rich and I started smoking, focusing on the not my spiritual stuff no more, and I started focusing on you know, just getting businesses and investing, and I wasn't working on spiritual stuff no more, and I wasn't happy. And I went and I just kept going down all these different potential realities that could happen once I got rich. And I guarantee you, look, I found it out. There is nothing that's going to take me off the spiritual path. because I'm functioning. My children are geniuses. My 5-year-old son can solve a Rubik's Cube. When people see that, they be like, crazy. Yes, he into that. And that's because he like me when I was a child. When I was a child, all my family say, man, you so smart. Yeah, you always out there trying to do something. You know, do science and do experiments. And that's what my family told me. You know, and it's a lot of stories I would like to share about my childhood because they pretty powerful stories. But you know, my son is a genius, and like I said, I'm in this particular time. I traveled to all these particular places, and I realized that the only thing that can satisfy me is the spiritual path, ascension, man. That's it, 100%. No drug, no weed, no sex, no money. None of that is gonna satisfy me. So you have to know what you're gonna do with your money before you get it, because if you're not gonna be rich if you're not worthy, unless you go about getting your riches through accident, which is really no accident, or you go about getting your riches through harming people or by nefarious means. So the reason why I'm allowed to think and grow rich is because I already been in my meditation, a deep state of meditation, and have went and lived the various lifestyles that I could have lived, and none of them was fulfilling as continuing the spiritual path. So once I do, decide that I've made enough money, and I'm gonna break away from society like that and corporations and all that. Now all that time is just gonna be money that I can now be able to give my children the best private education I can do. I can go out now into the mountains and just let my mind go and not be out there thinking, oh, I gotta go to work. So time is running out. I gotta fix that issue. I'm running short on time right here. I got my SD card going out. So hey, look, I gave y'all some fire. If y'all like the video, then click that thumbs up. I'm gonna keep bringing fire as much as I can. Peace and love, and I'll see y'all next time.